Part A, question number 1. Imagine that tuition for your schooling has increased by 20%. How do you think this will affect demand and consumer behavior? Why and how will you describe the elasticity of your tuition? So, this is my answer. Consumers' demand for tuition will decrease when the tuition fee for my schooling increased by 20%. This is because consumers who belong in the lower income class will suffer inconvenience when they increase the fee rates. This will influence them to switch to other substitute services in the market in order to avoid any extra expenses. When the consumers decided to switch to substitute services, the demand for tuition will decrease. The effect of this situation has proven that tuition is categorized as inelastic demand. However, those in the higher income class may be less sensitive towards the price change because they have lots of money compared to those with lower income. When the price changes, the quantity demanded will change and a movement along the same demand curve will occur. The supply of service will increase if there is an increase in the price. A change in the price of tuition causes a smaller percentage change in quantity demanded. This is the characteristic of the inelastic degree of responsiveness. The price of tuition is also not very responsive.
Now, I would like to explain about Part A, Question 2. Imagine that there are currently 10,000 students enrolled at your institution. The school decided to increase tuition and enrollment falls to 9,000. Tuition starts at 4,000 ringgit per semester but has since gone up to 4,800 ringgit. What is the elasticity of the demand? In this context, we will use price elasticity of demand in finding the answer. First, we should know the formula to calculate the price elasticity of demand is by percentage change in quantity demanded for tuition divided by the percentage change in price of tuition, which is by the new quantity minus all quantity divided all quantity, then multiply with all price divided new price minus old price. Now, we should know which one is the new and old quantity of demand and which one is the new and old change in price. We see here, the new demand is 9,000 students and old demand is 10,000 students. For the new price is 4,800 ringgit and the old price is 4,000 ringgit. Now, we calculate it. Elasticity of demand is 9,000 minus 10,000 divided 10,000, then multiply with 4,000 divided 4,800 ringgit minus 4,000. And we will get negative 0.5. Then, we will remove the negative and it will be 0.5, which is smaller than 1. So, we can conclude here that the answer about what is the elasticity of demand for the question is inelastic demand. Because the elasticity of demand is smaller than 1, as the price for the tuition increased by 10%, the quantity demanded for the tuition will decrease by 5% and vice versa.
Okay, let's continue with question part A3. How will this impact total revenue for your institution? What inferences can you make from this information? Okay, let me tell you. Alright, the formula to find total revenue is total revenue TR equals to price charge P times quantity sold Q. Firstly, the price charge for 10,000 students is RM 4,000 per semester. So the calculation should be like this. A tuition of 4,000 ringgit equals to 4,000 ringgit multiplied by 10,000 students, and the total revenue should get RM 40 million ringgit. Another way, if students drop until 9,000, 10,000 students and drops until 9,000 students, the price will change. The price is RM 4,800 per semester for only 9,000 students. The calculation, as you can see, a tuition of RM 4,800 times 9,000 students, and you will get the total revenue of RM 43,200,000 ringgit. In conclusion, an increase in tuition price causes an increase in the total revenue of the institution. However, a change in price does not always affect total revenue. When the percent increase in price is equal to the percent decrease in quantity demanded, the total revenue will remain unaffected. For this case, the percent increase in price has covered up the percent decrease in quantity demanded and even increase the total revenue at the same time.
I will answer the first question of part B. The question given is, recently there has been discussion in the news about taxing junk food, soda drinks for instance, in an effort to reduce the incidence of obesity in Malaysia. Do you think the demand for junk food is elastic or inelastic with respect to price? Today, many people in Malaysia encountering a problem of obesity. In Malaysia, there's so many junk food, it will make someone obesity. So, we estimate the demand for junk food with respect to price is inelastic. However, in general, food tends to have relatively low demand elasticity, especially in wealth. Food demand is probably slightly more elastic. People of all levels of discretionary income eat junk food. There is perhaps an argument to be made that people at the lower end of discretionary income eat more junk food. It does, however, depend on the relative price of other food. If the cost of junk food changes dramatically compared to other food, then we analyze its demand as relatively elastic because not all societies can bear the taxing. Supplier and government, sure, taxing junk food is a great way to raise more profits because the price of food typically set by the cost of production plus a profit margin equal will be elastic. It would similarly lead to more production elsewhere to profit from taxing. We guess it's perhaps quite adaptable, or in other words, flexible. However, we think the answer is inelastic because I know that people will consume less junk food when the price goes up, but the decreasing demand is lesser than the increasing cost. The substitute for junk food are challenging to find by now, especially for busy people. They are more likely to eat junk food because it is more fast and easy to eat. Besides that, people love to eat junk food because suppliers make the junk food look unique and more compelling, and the taste is more delicious than usual. So people do not care about the price or tax, they will enjoy the junk food no matter what it is. Based on the impact of food prices on consumption, a systematic review of research on the price elasticity of demand for food journal states that price elasticities for foods and non-alcoholic beverages range from 0.27 to 0.81, which is absolute value. We highlight that elasticities affirmed are less than 1%, so it's going to be inelastic because a buyer must buy foods. Even price rises by 1%, demand will only reduce for less than 1%. So we can acknowledge that price does not affect the quantity demand in junk food. The outcome is inelastic because the decreasing demand is less than the increasing price itself. Considering it is inelastic, then the dead weight loss will be small. It signifies low ineffectiveness in the market because the quantity demand is generally the same when it is changed.
Based on the knowledge and the analysis of the elasticity of our demand, we may think that the junk food can be an effective idea and significantly to extend the government revenue. But in terms of the quantity bought and sold, it will not very impress in terms of price changes unless the government impose the very highest taxes toward the consumer. Consumers are more likely to buy it again, and it will not reduce the quantity of demand towards the good. This is more profitable for the government with the increasing in price to the junk food due to the very fond attitude of the consumer towards the good. And the impact of the junk food taxes is unpredictable and may end in product substitution, which is it could hold a similar and very highest calories. So we want to concede that obesity prompted by the lifestyle, so even folks who eat vegetable a day can also be obese because they could have a real lack of exercise during a day. So from that, we feel that reasonable taxation will not reduce the number of obesity in Malaysia at least.